There will be no first lap accident in this last Bathurst for the Marlboro Holden dealer team. Brock, running here, is aloof from the threat of mishaps, and this first lap is the beginning of a brutal race-long domination by one man and his team. Even on this first lap, Brock is determined to show that 10 years on the mountain have taught him to know it better than anyone. Behind Brock, the field with the Morris Breville car at its head can do little but let him go. It is as if there were no other cars on the track. A stunning, virtuoso performance. They can only hope that he will fail. As Brock and his team know only too well, the Hardy-Ferodo 1000 is full of uncertainty. The pressure is worrying and always present. This is the way it was in 1969. This is the way it will be in this race. No one is immune to the threat of failure. It can strike at anyone, pursued or pursuer. And it is not long before the ferocious pace of the tearaway Brock and his Holden begins to tell on some of his major opposition.
Dick, you got yourself in all sorts of bother. What happened?
The tyre went flat. Well, yes, it just went down instantly and the car just went straight in the fence.
Yeah, no control.
As soon as it hit down when you're coming into the dipper, it just went straight ahead.
Well, a few laps before that, you were in trouble at the bottom of the circuit. What happened there?
The brakes were still too cold. I wasn't in any bother. I probably could have made it around the corner, but I think it's safer to go around that way than take a risk in sort of hitting the fence over there.
As Brock continues to draw away from the pack, which includes his teammate John Harvey, cruelly and savagely, the next to fall is Bond.
Colin, what happened?
I think it's the gearbox and top gear.
The top gear? Yeah. You're going to try and repair the car?
I reckon another gearbox. You reckon you're going?
Will he be out again today?
I think so.
The carnage will be heavy before this race is run. It is soon apparent to the IBM computer experts and track timekeepers that they are recording the relentless widening of a leading margin that, if unchecked, will ultimately be the largest in the history of the event. Brock, seemingly, is oblivious to it all. And as his team readies for his first stop, there is no time for compassion. Simply and bluntly, fewer cars mean fewer challenges to his intended victory. This is the way it always is, for any driver. Behind, Marlboro teammate John Harvey has fought through the field to consolidate in second. Although Brock is far enough ahead to be safe from immediate threat, the security of a buffer to any opposing team is of vital help. Brock learns that the opposition appears content to let the Marlboro car go. Morris and the Breville car, the expected threat, is drifting back down the field. Moffat, the traditional rival, is conserving his car. Brock now has no doubts that, barring the unexpected and unforeseen, the race is his. As his co-driver Richards goes out, The speed of the stop and the size of the lead combine for the first time in the history of the race to prevent the early leader losing his first place when he stops. Harvey comes in to hand over to co-driver Ron Harrop. In many ways, his drive has been equally impressive. Unlike Brock, he's seen few clear stretches of track, having started from 11th position on the grid. Harvey, too, is an old hand, a real fighter. His race is to end in bitter disappointment, but no one knows that yet. Half distance, and the pressure intensifies. Morris, the second fastest qualifier, is now running into trouble. Other people, too, are suffering various setbacks. There are so many things that can go wrong. The Hardy Ferodo 1000 never fails to exact a vicious toll, and the steadily developing smokescreen from the Breville car spells disaster for Morris. For Morris, a tough and skilled competitor, the moment is a bitter one. He has lost so much time that the lead Marlboro car soon puts him another lap down. But Morris, like Brock and all the other drivers, started this race knowing the spectre of disaster is always close at hand.
I think we've done an oil seal at the gearbox. Only a minor thing, but you know, gearboxes don't go too far without oil.
Moffat makes another stop. He's aware of Morris's retirement. He hopes the same will happen to Richard. And as Moffat goes out, Rice comes in, still in with a chance, but unable to keep up with the blistering pace set by the leader. A pace taking the Marlboro car further away with each lap. Rice and Moffat still loom as distant threats, but as winds and light rain sweep the track, the front-running Holden increases its lead even further. As if to remind the Marlboro pit that no race is ended until the flag drops, the second team car of Harvey and Harrop goes missing. The smooth efficiency of the operation is momentarily disturbed. It's a worrying moment. The immediate concern is to find out what has happened.
I think that's what's happened to Ron.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened to Ron.
Is he back in the pit yet?
Yeah, he's back in the pit. I've just been speaking to him. He's okay. Just shaken up a little bit.
Where did it happen?
On the Castrol curve, the right-hander going up the hill. Plus, to add to that, as he got a little bit wide, the road was a little bit wet on the outside. The car just moved the wall and went over.
But as I went over the hump up the back straight there and braked to the corner, there was just nothing at all, and just went into the fence, probably about 80 mile an hour, I'd say.
The survivors all move up a plate. For most, with the lead Marlboro car now well beyond reach, it is now a case of lasting the distance. Brock is now back out on the track. His co-driver, Richards, has done his job well, having maintained the Marlboro car's first place.
You had no dramas or anything?
No, not much. It's running like a champ.
So what do you think it is now? Just a case of coasting to the line, do you think?
Well, it looks like it's just a case of continuing to keep up a steady pace, and if we make it to the finish, great.
The Breville car, which had ventured out again after repairs, is finally back in the pits for good.
Well, I guess it just is now, yeah, but I think we've just broken a rocker on the engine. And, really nowhere, so we'll have to put it away, I think.
This race is one Morris will quickly forget. But if it's any consolation, this race has many victims. Grice, back in the car after his co-driver's stint, finds that the car is damaged and not handling well. The Moffat car, running nowhere for so long, prepares to sweep past Grice into second place. The Marlboro Holden dealer team members watch the drama. Better that it happens to someone else. Grice, so confident of a major placing, will end the Hardy Ferodo well down the field. And as the Moffat car moves up, the quietly running Jansen and Perkins inherit third place, not far behind. Grice resumes, now well out of contention. The end is now in sight. Moffat watches his car make its final stop, wondering whether a last-minute sensation will cut down Brock.
You are poised if anything does happen to the wheel.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a big if, and
Brock
Brock
is
is
just
just
cruising
cruising around like he's out having a very hard to nail him back.
But it has happened before. It's
Oh
happened
yeah,
to
if
you.
he started to go on to 7 cylinders or got a puncture or somebody's spun in front of him, anything can happen, let's face it.
There will be a sensation, but he, not Brock, will be the victim. This last stop is vital for the leading Marlboro Holden dealer team car. There is still time for fate to play an unexpected hand. Brock knows this only too well. This last stop, for just enough fuel to get him to the finish, will take an agonizingly long time, when in reality, it is only seconds.
Finally, when the last stop is finished, it's a relief to get back on the track. Things do go wrong. Look at Alan Moffat. He was worrying about whether I'd last, and yet he was the one to fall. He nursed that car all weekend, got it within 20 laps of the flag, and it finally exploded in a cloud of smoke.
It's a crushing blow to Moffat. Jansen swoops to gather the second place, which has been an unlucky position for other teams. But he will hold it to the end. A cruel moment for any driver. Watching someone else speeding to victory, knowing that your best hasn't been good enough. Moffat leaves the pits, seemingly calm, but only he really knows how disappointed he is. The failure of Moffat, the traditional rival, is the final confirmation that Brock will win this race, and win it well.
So all he's got to do is keep the car on the track.
I guess, yes.
Yeah, simple as that.
Finally, it nears its end. The Hardy Ferodo 1000 has passed at record pace. Brock and his team have watched the opposition falter and fail. The win is a crushing one. To reinforce the superiority and mark the end of a decade of competition by the Holden dealer team, Brock slashes the track record on his last lap. It is an incredible exhibition of a driver's skill, of his team's prowess, his car's superiority. The 10 years come to an end. This race, this enormous achievement for Brock and the Marlboro Holden dealer team, says it all. When everything was added up, they were the best. simple as that.
Here's Howdy Torana, and now he has 4 victories in Australia's greatest race. Peter Brock. Thank you very much, Kevin. An absolute dream run for us. From the word go, the car was really on the ball, and we drove it fast all day. We didn't have to slow down for any reason, and it was a matter of, I think, just outrunning the field, really. Once I got the lead and I drew away in the early laps, and I was doing it very easily, and I thought to myself, I think we're going to have a very easy run here today. But I couldn't understand why we were really that much quicker than the opposition early on. The car finished off very, very well. That's, I think, an absolute tribute to John Shepherd and Bruce Nowacki and the boys to build us a car which is absolutely capable of taking 1,000 kilometres in its stride very easily.